What's going on, Drinking Buddies? Brand new podcast coming right at you. But you know what we got to do first. We got to talk about those things that generate a little revenue for the show. First and foremost, we are brought to you by the Patreon at patreon.com/MattSlayer. Did you know you could support this show for as little as $3 a month? Less than the cost of a beer. Wild, right? For a little bit more, you can get the audio ad-free. You can get the video versions uncensored a week early. All at the Patreon. Plus, I've been throwing some other random stuff up there as of late. So check that out today at patreon.com/MattSlayer and support the show. Another very easy way you can support the show is go to anwd.net/merch. Pick yourself up some merch. May it be a Drink Up Mofo hat, a Now We Drink shirt, the infamous tech shirt, all available at anwd.net/merch. I've been rocking one of my own hats. They're really high quality. I'm not just saying it. Since it's put on demand, I didn't know. I had to buy one and check, and yeah, high quality hat. So once again, check that out today. Support the show at anwd.net/merch. And last but certainly not least, the very easiest way you can support this show is twofold. Signal boost. Tell your friends. Share social media posts. Just let people know about the show. Really that painless. Really that easy. The other one, go to youtube.com/andnowwedrink. Subscribe. Feed the algorithm. YouTube likes it when people subscribe. And I do too. So thank you, Drinking Buddies. Let's get on with the show. My guest this week is comedian Chrissie Mayr. This was definitely an interesting podcast. Chrissie and I are not exactly on the same wavelength when it comes to political views and such. So it's always interesting to sit down with someone who, may not necessarily agree with you on things. That being said, I don't necessarily agree with everything Chrissie said. I'm sure she doesn't agree with everything that I said during this podcast. But it was a good conversation. So sit back, relax, pop a cold one, and enjoy, Drinking Buddies.
When aliens come to take over, they look at us like we're out of our minds now. We'll get a galactic makeover, and now we're thinking that they just might be right. I cannot wait for this whole world to end. I'm gonna break out the bottle with my friends. I think they'll tell the best stories when we're gone. And now we drink.
What the hell's going on?
It's so great to be here.
Thank you for braving LA traffic for me.
It's a bitch. But you know what? Long Island traffic, where I'm from, is really horrendous too, because there's just no way out. There's only one way, sort of in and out. So, but yeah, everything here is like an hour or a half hour. Or maybe I just picked a bad spot for my hotel. Like I'm staying right by LAX.
You did.
Oh, it'll be great when I go home because I'll just drop the car off and I'll be right there.
Yeah, that's the reason those hotels are so fucking cheap, is because there's fucking nothing there.
Oh, you're calling me cheap. Okay. I see what's happening on this podcast. No, I live aggressively within my means and will do so for like as long as possible. Like I don't mind a little bit of extra driving. It's just like you have to leave earlier. Then I'd rather stay in like a less expensive hotel because they're banging me out on the parking. It's like every time you leave the parking lot, it's $24. So even if you go in and out twice, okay, that's whatever 24 plus times 2 is.
I mean, that's just how they fucking get you. Like,
yeah. Or they're like, oh, you could do valet, which is $60 a day, but then you can go in and out as many times as you want. I was like, no, that's actually not better.
Well, it depends on how much you're leaving.
I guess. No, I'd rather you just like stay out all day than if you have like a lot of back and forths. So,
I mean, if you want to be really thrifty, the hood's not too far from LAX. You can just park on a side street in the hood and Uber it back to your hotel.
We want to see the sights, and that includes where all the homeless are. Where is the best place to see homeless here in LA?
What kind of homeless are you looking for?
I want to see like fentanyl, like near a fentanyl overdose, leaned over, like the kind we have in New York. They're laying down. There's their personal effects scattered around them. Just messy. I'm looking for the worst of the worst.
Skid Row, of course.
Okay. My very first time in LA, I had no idea what to do, where to go, what the areas were about. I booked my first headlining show in LA at this place called the Moroccan Lounge. It was March of 2020, right as the pandemic was popping off. I didn't realize Skid Row was a bad area. You know, not even the name tipped me off for some reason. But I was like, wow, I'll just go wherever they'll have me. And the Moroccan Lounge was like a music venue. And I remember it was, well, let's say this. It wasn't sold out. And I remember making jokes on stage like, God damn, this would have been a lot more packed. You know, I had a huge cruise ship full of fans that got marooned like off the coast of like, you remember they were like not letting cruise ships dock? I remember making jokes about it. And then I was staying at a very cool hotel in West Hollywood, right next to the Comedy Store.
Oh, the Andaz.
It was great. It was like kind of expensive, but it was cool to be like right next to the Comedy Store because I was going there like almost every day just to hang. And it was crazy. I went in one of the stores and it was just the panic of like people rushing to buy stuff. And I remember I was like, I thought I really had to get a bunch of like alcohol onto the plane, like rubbing alcohol, because people were buying up all the wipes and buying up all the cleaning products. So I got it into my head. I was like, oh, I need to buy rubbing alcohol and lots of it. So I bought miniature Listerine bottles, dumped them out, and one big bottle of alcohol, and then poured the alcohol into the little Listerine bottles and brought that with me on the plane. Like I thought I was being a hero and making my own cleaning fluid. And then I bring them all home, and I think they sat in a drawer for months, and then I found them again. I was like, oh yeah, this was cute. What did I think I was doing with this? And then just threw them away.
LA had you doing that, like, because here, I don't know what it was like in New York when the fucking days, here was just stupid. Here was fucking stupid with, like, it went from, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, this is the goddamn apocalypse. People are pulling everything off the fucking shelves.
People were stupid in New York, too. They're and at this point, like, the people that are left in New York are the people that can't or won't move away. Because most people were like, oh, fuck this shit. And they moved out to the middle of the country and they just got something better. They wanted to move somewhere more free. So it's almost like the people that are left now in New York you can make an argument, especially in New York City, like that they're easier to control because clearly they can't move out. They either can't afford or they can't leave their family or they have some reason.
They're like, rent control. I'm dying in this fucking apartment.
That's literally was Keanu's deal. Like she's with her boyfriend. They're like figuring out whose apartment to move into. She's like, I don't want to leave. I really like my apartment. It's such a classic New York City thing.
Well, she's just got to do the old school New York power game of just using it for storage and keeping it for future generations.
Or, yeah, maybe she sublets it and then she can stay there when she needs some me time.
I know one of my buddies way back in the day has like a third generation rent controlled apartment on the Lower East Side.
Wow.
Like,
how much is it?
I know in 2001 he was paying like $230 a month.
What? How does that happen?
Oh, they try to sue him out like every 6 months.
How does that slide through the cracks like that?
It was his grandfather's place that left it to his father, who left it to him.
Holy shit! So they signed what, like a lifetime rent control agreement or something?
I don't know exactly how it was doing. He just worked like fucking 6 months out of the year and then just fuck off for the rest of the year.
Wow!
And that place was so close to the towers that like they were closer than the CNN cameras were when the towers came down.
Oh wow! So he could have done his own reporting. He'd be like, look, from this angle, you really can tell it's an inside job.
I didn't see no plane.
Yeah, I wonder if everyone who claims to see a plane is like those people were paid off or they just, I don't know. I think there were computer graphics involved.
I just don't think enough people are competent enough to convince that many people. There's too many people for a secret not to leak out.
Are you believing that it was a job or you think it happened? I mean, of course it happened.
Yeah.
Of course it happened.
But there's so much with it. It's this. Welcome to the demonetization portion on YouTube.
Oh no, we can switch gears.
Oh no, I'm happy to do it. I don't care. I don't care. I just like to be like, oh yeah, this is the part where YouTube goes, no money for you. A lot of the conspiracies and stuff like that, I just go, they're above my fucking pay grade.
You kind of have to almost make it a full-time job to specialize in one conspiracy theory. Just the amount of research you have to do.
Right. I have better things to do with my fucking day.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like, oh my God, if I discovered it was a fucking inside job, it was conspiracy, what the fuck am I doing about it?
Right. I feel the exact same way about flat Earth. I think it doesn't change your day. We all still have to get up and go to work in the morning. So, big deal. I think it's just fun to think about.
Do you believe in it or?
I think it's possible.
All right.
I think it's fun to think about. I think it's fun to think about like what would motivate the powers that be to keep that from the people? Like, what would they have to gain from that? I think if there are secret continents beyond the ice wall and they're full of resources, I could see why the elites would want to keep that secret in case like shit hits the fan and they just have somewhere to go hide. Or maybe that's where Matt Lauer is right now. Maybe that's where they've sent Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe that's where they're going to eventually send Ghislaine. So it's possible. Anything's possible.
I mean, it's entirely possible, but it's also like, once again, how many people are involved to keep that actually secret if that is the case?
Well, yeah, it just takes a few years of being like, well, this is the globe. We'll put one in every classroom.
Well, I'd imagine just like someone on Trump's team would have tweeted about it.
I don't think they're concerned about that. I think they're more concerned about like the swamp.
I could just see a throwaway like 2 a.m. tweet about it. Just like, oh, by the way. Like,
it wouldn't be on brand for anyone, I think, on his team. Because I think they're very careful. Even Trump like won't denounce the jab, even though he pushed it at one point or heavily promoted it or was like, we did such a great job, warp speed. And so many of his followers like hate that he sort of brought that about. But it's almost like he kind of had to. And he was not for the mandates. He just like had it made or whatever. And then, I don't know.
It was that whole thing fucking mess.
It was a shit show.
It's like, it's a good way to show like, hey, leaving everything to the states doesn't always work out so great. Because it's one of those things where like, we have porous fucking borders. It's not like.
That's the biggest problem right now. Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, was just like, oh, we need help, acting like he's not just sitting there actively like letting them come in by the hundreds of thousands. It's he's so bad at his job.
Well, I'm just talking about within the states themselves. You could, what does it take you to get to New Jersey? Like 10 minutes? Like,
more than that. Well, it depends where you live.
But you could get to another state with completely different laws in like a short amount of time.
Yeah, and Jersey has so many more Indians. Hoboken, completely. If you need an IT person, go to Jersey City, go to Hoboken. The whole town is made of IT people. That's what I call them. IT people.
IT people. Hey, yeah. They're filling a necessary role. Like, someone's got to fix my computer.
Yeah. That's for a few weeks. I thought that's why Vivek Ramaswamy was running for president. I thought he was just there to do IT. He's just there in case anyone forgets their password.
Speaking of Indians, have you ever seen any of like the Indian scam videos? Like just all these like people going after the scammers?
I think so. Yeah, I've seen the videos where like they'll be calling them, have them on the line, and they'll just keep them on as long as possible so that they don't like scam somebody else.
Yeah, that's another person who's got like, I understand you're making a bunch of money off YouTube on it, but you got a lot of fucking time on your hands. You're like,
you have to have a passion for it. We'll see. Like my husband Frank will actually do that. When a spammer calls him, he will really just you have to enjoy fucking with people to do that sort of thing.
I enjoy fucking with people, but eventually I just lose attention. I'm just like, yeah, I'm bored now.
Right. Why? What's your birthday?
February 9th.
So you're an Aquarius?
Correct.
Yep. That's classic Aquarius. You can be flighty. You can be a little like non-committal sometimes. Probably people like a classic Aquarius comes off like almost like superficial and flaky and just blowing off plans and like not really. But really, there's more to it depending on where your other planets are.
Well, I fit right in LA that way.
Classic. Why did you move here? Are you from here?
Nah, Chicago originally.
Why'd you come here?
Porn.
To watch it? To watch more of it?
Yes, all of it. Just be like, oh, it's just taking too long to get to me in Chicago.
I need to go to the source.
Right? I have to go right to the valley, get my freshly tapped porn. Now, I do work in production.
Okay, for porn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Okay. What do you do? Hold the boom mic? What are you?
I've done that.
Are you a fluffer?
The job does not exist.
It doesn't?
No.
Well, now that they can shoot that shit right into their dicks directly.
Well, even at least my 10 years plus in like fluffers just didn't exist. Occasionally, dudes.
No fluffers ever?
Maybe in the
No
70s.
one's getting fluffed?
No. Generally by their scene partners.
Okay, right.
They're just, and it's a really interesting situation because like some performers will be like, nah, when the camera's not rolling, I'm not fucking touching you.
Yes. I talk to a lot of girls in the industry too. They'll I've done like long form interviews like this, but I also have them on my Compound Media show, Wet Spot, which is like panel and more like fluffy. And we bounce around and sometimes do like, things like anal ring toss. If we have one of those vibrating saddles in the back in case anyone wants to jump on it. We've had like a dominatrix, someone acting like a puppy, a submissive person, someone's stepping on some guy's balls wrapped in saran wrap. That might have been all the same episode, actually.
Just one highlight reel.
Yeah. And then I have like many friends that are like legit mainstream porn stars and some that just really dabble and do OnlyFans.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's one of the weird things about like post 2020 world is like everyone has a fucking OnlyFans now.
Yeah, it's almost like it's not special anymore.
It's not, but I also compare OnlyFans and podcasting quite a bit because it's
right.
It's really a lot of the same things like zero barrier of entry. You're probably going to make no fucking money at this, and there are some people making all the fucking money at it.
True. You have to like hang in there and just see if the cream rises to the top. Well, I'm sure they say that in porn too. What made you get into porn?
Fucking film ambition that I just never was able to materialize in Chicago.
Let me guess. You thought you could be a stunt dick.
Nope. Never once.
Never. You weren't like hanging around. If you guys need like, just put me in. I'm here. I'm ready. If you ever need money.
Nope. Very average penis. Very average.
Hey, there's a niche for that.
Yeah. Nah. It was one of those things where like I'm a film nerd, and it was just like I didn't meet anyone who fucking made movies, and then I met a bunch of people that made porn.
Where'd you meet them?
At a bar.
And how did that conversation go? You were like, I do this. And they're like, we need someone who does that.
It was just like years of hanging, partying. And it was just like, I first got in providing security for girls.
Oh, yeah. Because you look like a kind of a bodyguard bouncer type.
Especially 10 years ago when I was in better shape.
Even now, you could bounce somebody still.
If I needed to. But yeah I was like the guy who went on the road with girls to conventions and like feature gigs and shit like that.
That's an important role because like there's guys pawing at those girls all the time.
Well, and you gotta scoop their dollars, make sure no one's running off with their fucking money.
Wow.
Grab their fucking outfits because weird fans will fucking grab their fucking panties off stage and shit.
Wow. Man, that's wild.
It's a weird gig. It was just like one of those things that I kind of fell into. Like, all right, sure, this will get me to hopefully where I want to go.
I pissed off Sarah J. Are you familiar with her?
I know Sarah.
She are you good friends?
Nah, but I know Sarah.
You've had her on. She and I know her publicist Lainey very well. I've worked with her, known her for years. Like we were very friendly. And then she was on my show, and another person on the show like just said the N-word a couple times. Like he was calling in. But he doesn't say it. He's as an insult. He's like a pro freedom of speech guy, and he's someone he believes like words only have the meaning that you give them. And I understand that to a point. It's not like he was directly calling someone that word, and she just got so pissed, and I think she like stormed off the show and then didn't say anything to me, but then tweeted a bunch of shit, like talking shit about me, Compound Media, and I was like, wow. And then a fan found like a porn of hers where she was screaming the N-word over and over and over again. And I was like, oh, so it's only okay to say it if you're getting rammed, like that's interesting. What an interesting double standard.
Well, I kind of get the double standard if like she's technically playing a role in the film.
How isn't the guy who called in technically playing a role if he's like, I'm playing the role of a guy who stands up for free speech. I
guess she didn't realize that like he wasn't on the act. Just, this is some dude.
So fucking annoying. And then it was I really didn't appreciate that she had to talk shit via Twitter instead of just hitting me up and be like, hey, what was that about? That upset me or whatever. Just try to deal with it or just privately first.
Exactly. Or you using Lainey as an intermediary.
Right.
If need be.
And I tried, but I guess they didn't. I'm nobody. So I'm not really worth making up with, I guess, in their minds.
That's just an uncomfortable fucking situation.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's no big deal. I don't know. I hear all that shit and worse all the time. So maybe I'm just desensitized.
No, I get it. Hell, I told some people that like you were coming on and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm like,
really? That's like, I'm not surprised, but I guess it does still surprise me because I'm like, what really is your deal? Like, what are you so afraid of? In fact, I'm like, I'm going on someone's show soon. And he was like, oh, I'm afraid of being seen a certain way politically if I have you on. And I was like, what? I was like, I'm not gonna, like, what do you think I'm gonna do? And I've had so many people come to shows and then say to me after, like, wow, Chrissie, I actually thought you were gonna be a lot more political, and you weren't. So it's like, I think I have pretty regular material and I say honest things and make observations about society, but I think it's all about, I think however cancelable you are is how you present yourself online and what you stick your neck out for. Because there's so many comics that are what I like to call, like, a lot of us have the same material, but they're in an Amazon box. Everyone loves an Amazon box. It's non-threatening. It's kind of generic. It's okay. Everyone's accepting of that. Whereas like comics like myself or like Gino Bisconti, Keanu's boyfriend, or God, like Anthony Cumia, even Alex Stein. Someone's like, oh, well, you're in a different box. You're in like, but you open it up. It's like the same-ish stuff is inside, the similar material, but people get scared because of what they read online about you.
Well, and it's one of those things where, like, at the end of the day, you're the one, like, if someone's offended by what something you say, they're the one choosing to be offended.
Right.
Like, they don't have to listen to you. They can turn off whatever you're at. Hell, I saw the clip of you walking those people in Texas.
The land whales.
Yeah. And, they made, like, I don't think they need to heckle you all the way out, but they made the choice not to listen to you anymore.
Right.
And that's their choice to fucking make.
And they made the choice to be fat, so I'm going to comment on that when you heckle me. I wouldn't have said it. I wouldn't have mentioned it if you had just sat there and behaved. But no, you started it.
Hell, even if you had just walked them, I don't think you would have disrupted your act to acknowledge them.
No, God, no. And even after her first little outburst, I thought, like, should I continue talking to this woman? I'm like, no. Like, that's kind of rude to the whole rest of the audience to just make it about this one table. And then they waited a while. They didn't leave right away. They had to finish their French fries first. And then as they were leaving, they're like, F you, transphobe. Went over and knocked all my merch off my table.
Did they really?
Spoke to the manager. Yeah. I'm like, the merch.
The merch is the worst part.
I'm like, the merch you're not going to hurt the merch. It's shirts. I can refold them.
That's wild, because it's just like, what are you hoping to accomplish here?
I wanted to talk to me like, why are you here? Like, where did you hear about me? What did you think the show was going to be?
Well, that's the thing about comedy. Comedy is the only art form where people will go completely in blind. They're just like, I'm going to a comedy show.
I wonder if they were like, oh, female comic, good. I want to hear someone talk about their vagina for an hour.
And weird sexual encounters.
Yeah, but I only talk about it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Unless it's really done something funny, then I'll talk about it more.
Well, that's just always the weirdest thing. Like, no one's ever going to a fucking concert completely blind.
Mm-hmm. Right, you know what they're going to play.
Right. No one's going to a movie like, I'm just going to the movie.
I mean, you shouldn't be going in totally blind to a comedy show. If a comedian's at the point where they're headlining, certainly there's material online.
But people do all the fucking time.
Yeah, they're just looking for something to do. Maybe they got free tickets. Who knows?
Oh, hopefully they didn't paper the room.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, that weekend sold pretty well. You never know. You never know how people get there. It's always like, oh, I got you a gift certificate to a comedy club. I don't know.
It's a weird thing about the art form. It's just like, okay.
Yeah. Or maybe they were hardcore fans and that joke just turned them completely off.
You were just trying to encourage more tits in the world. Like, how is that a bad thing?
The people that were concerned that you were having me on, like, what were their concerns?
Oh, it was just like, oh, those compound media people, they're all racist.
That's it?
Pretty much.
Most people are racist. I mean, in some way.
I just like most people. And then, individually, it's like, oh, are you cool?
Yeah. I think that's sad that people confuse making racial jokes for being racist.
Yeah.
Or just commenting about, like, making observations about the races makes you racist. It's like, no, I have eyes. There's a reason why Asians are considered bad drivers, because there are enough bad drivers who are Asian. That's how stereotypes are created. They're not pulled out of thin air. They're based in truth.
Well, and it's also one of those things like, what's the intent behind the words? Like, intent matters so fucking much. It's like, are you here to, tell these jokes to demean all Asians, or are you just trying to get a laugh out of people?
And hopefully it's both. No. Right. If you're trying to make somebody laugh, then you shouldn't get offended. It's like, you laugh or you don't. Getting offended is like kind of a waste of energy. It's like, well, okay, leave if it's really bothering you, or just like move on with your life.
Right. So many people have, like, their whole world is built around them. So it's just like, oh, I can't believe Chrissie Mayr told that joke to me. Like, there's a couple of 100 other people here, bro.
That's what happens. That's the reaction. People will interpret a joke that's meant generally. They will interpret personally as a personal attack, and then they will respond to you personally. Like, I'll tell a joke generally, and then someone will go, fuck you, like whatever insults about me, like personal insults or how they think I look or anything. Like, you're white, you're a mayonnaise person, like all these the lame insults people come up with for white people. And I'm just like, yeah, my joke wasn't meant to personally insult you, yet you're replying with a personal insult, which means you took that personally. So that's the problem, is people taking jokes personally, or maybe you're just so triggered that a comedy club is the first time where your views are being challenged, and you just can't help but have this like visceral, triggered reaction.
It's silly though. It's like you spent months sitting at home thinking about this woman from Texas, this joke. Oh, that's gonna get her. It's gonna fucking get her.
Right.
Like, fucking.
It was the most tame moment that became viral. I was just like, hey, why is Dylan gone a whole year of it's supposedly girlhood, but why no tits? Like, that's a question a lot of people have. You know, I'm not like, that's not like a big brain moment. And some guy's like, yeah, because he's a man. I'm like, yeah, he's a man. And that's it. Just saying that Dylan Mulvaney is a man is enough to make someone triggered to the point where they're interrupting a show.
Yeah. They're like, fuck the rest of these people that paid their fucking money to be here and have a good time. I must get my fucking opinion out there and disrupt the fucking show.
It's actually the most selfish thing you can do. You're saying that not only is your opinion more important than everybody else in the audience who they might agree with you. The whole audience might agree with that woman. But guess what? They're being respectful because they paid to see a show. So not only do you think your opinion is the most important but you think your opinion is more important than my fucking set. It's worth interrupting my the set that I've worked 13 years to get to a place where I'm headlining, and maybe I have specific jokes for this town, this state, these people. But no, let's interrupt all that because I am so triggered by the fact you called Dylan Mulvaney a man that we need to stop everything, and I need to scream out to you. It's like, what do you think you're going to get through to somebody like that? Do you think like she's going to, like, does this woman think she's going to like re-educate me in that way? Is that really the way to do it?
Yeah, like I'm going to scream at you. Oh my God, I'm going to rethink my whole fucking life.
You know what, Landwell, you're right. I'm scratching that from my set. And it was a riff. It was really a riff because Keanu, who you had on earlier, like we were joking that she looks like Dylan Mulvaney, and we were in Vegas previously, and I made this joke, like, everyone keeps asking Keanu what day of girlhood she's on, because people are like, oh, you kind of look like her. It's just funny. And then
and was Keanu offended? Because that joke's actually about Keanu.
No, yeah, right? Yeah. I'm basically calling her, saying you look like a dude. But no, is she offended? No.
No, and that's actually directed at her. I say this all the time. It's like part of the problem with the modern world is the internet's given everyone a fucking voice, so they think all voices are created equal.
Right. And then, I mean, in a sense, yeah, okay, everyone is allowed to have a Twitter account, but a lot of people are retarded, and
it's true.
Maybe you shouldn't. But it's like, probably a lot of people think I'm retarded, and all my opinions are wrong, so.
Well, obviously, they told me not to have you on the show.
Yeah, and it's just so funny, like, to be like, what is this person afraid of? I guess if they're a friend of yours, what they're afraid of is that you will be then sort of guilty by association. So you make yourself vulnerable to cancellation because you've had a, quote, canceled person on your show, which is like, oh, that's horrible that that's the way the world works. That is kind of the way like the industry works, because everyone's just like, oh, Kramer said the N-word. Everyone's disavow, hands off, right? Or this person is Louis C.K. Jerked off in front of a couple ladies. Everyone disavowed. And it's like, before anything is even proven, everyone jumps to, oh, this person told and now it's like, it's gotten to a point where it takes so little. Oh, this person told a joke about Malaysian. Oh, disavow. We don't want to get her canceled stink on us.
Yeah, but
and it's crazy because it's like, if you told a joke tomorrow that got a whole group of people triggered and coming after you and people wanted to cancel, I would stick up for you. Like that's very important to me, that I stand up for not even just comedians. Anybody making a joke should never have to apologize for a joke. It's a fucking joke. And I just think freedom of speech is so important. And I just would expect the same if, for the next group of people that I piss off with a joke, that people would say, no, like, she's allowed to say this. Get over it. Stop being such a puss.
Yeah, you're the one being choose. Once again, you can unplug. You can do 100 things besides waste your time and energy and your limited time on this planet by being fucking offended by it.
And it's just really sad, this guilty by association culture. That's one of the reasons I started my podcast, because I wanted to talk to people who were canceled. So I've talked to Owen Benjamin, Gavin McInnes, Laura Loomer, Roger Stone, mostly people on the right, I guess. But thinking, my God, I don't even know if these episodes will stay up on YouTube. And yeah, they're all there. It's all fine. Some of them are even monetized. So it's like you can't bend to it.
Well, and it's one of the things, especially in my position, oh my God, my set comment Netflix isn't going to happen. Oh, wait a minute, that wasn't happening anyway. It's
yeah,
I'm not a fucking comedian. I'm a shitbag podcaster who works in porn. I'm not exactly commercially viable in the first place. I'm not worried about it.
Are you watching film being recorded on set? Or are you the post production?
These days I do a lot of posts, but I have been the guy holding a boom, fucking been a PA, done it all over the years.
What's the craziest snafu you've seen?
The craziest snafu, I actually talked about this recently, which is not even it wasn't even all that sexy. It was literally trying to rush a scene because the fucking set didn't have power and we were losing
that was me earlier today. I was live streaming and watching my computer go down to 10%.
The whole house lost power. And it was well, we were originally supposed to have a sex scene on a couch. The setup was on the couch. We were supposed to move to a bedroom that didn't get any natural light in. Mm-hmm. So it's you two are now fucking on the couch. And we're doing this with battery operated lights as fast as we humanly could.
Yeah.
That is honestly the worst snafu.
That's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad. And for the most part, you get really jaded to this. A couple summers ago, me and the sound guy were just sitting watching a scene and man, that couch is really sagging while they fuck.
That's how I watch porn. I get upset when the lamps don't match. I get upset. I'm when's the last time somebody vacuumed this place? I'll be that's clearly a sheet thrown over a couch. They might as well just get a new couch or get one of those more expensive couch covers.
That's budget we don't have. But porn has no fucking budget, even with the big companies.
Yeah, I guess.
Unless you're fucking Vixen and you're I'm just going to spend fucking mainstream film budgets with a helicopter shot for our porn. I don't know if anyone actually gives a fuck that there's a helicopter shot and the models are on a fucking yacht.
Right.
Why are you spending this money?
Maybe people enjoy a mismatched lamp combo because it seems more amateur, more like a person's real house, I guess.
People are into that. It's crazy because I do edit people's content and it's this is shot like shit. They're I know people like it this way.
Really?
Yeah. Especially with the OnlyFans stuff.
How many OnlyFans accounts do you work with?
It varies. That's the shitty part about being someone's OnlyFans editor. People are wildly inconsistent about getting you content.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I'll hear from some clients once every 6 months. Sometimes they'll be oh, I'm gonna slam you for fucking 5 weeks and then not hear from them again for months.
What kind of work will they give you? A bunch of just raw footage, here's a porn I shot, or here's me masturbating, and here make it interesting, give it subtitles.
It's literally most of the time just hey, can you make cuts when I cut shit? Can you do a little color correction? It's really easy stuff.
Okay.
No one's trying.
Well, color correction, this is a black guy, but can you make him white?
That one I haven't mastered yet. And it'd usually be the other way around. It's much more taboo to...
Right. I guess everyone knows what kind of porn I watch.
Seriously, though, what kind of porn do you watch?
I kind of really don't. I'll be supportive of my friends' porn.
Are you subscribed to Keanu's OnlyFans?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Some friend I am.
Right.
Are you?
No. I'm not subscribed to anyone's.
Okay. I will, usually when we have guests on Wet Spot on Compound Media, the booth boys will end up playing the porn of whatever guest we have on. And then we're all just kind of sitting there with popcorn wow, look at that. We're so proud of you. Look at that. And we feel like proud parents. We're wow. Proud aunts and uncles.
And, hey, you should show off your art. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And you can really tell when you interview these girls, who was really doing it for the love of the game versus who's just I don't know. I made this choice, but I'm sticking with it,
Well, and that's the thing. So many people get in the industry for so many fucking different reasons these days. I mean, there's probably been always a bunch of different reasons, but in my lifetime, it's just been oh, some people are here because they are fucking hustlers. Lisa Ann is a hustler.
She's great.
Like, I've known Lisa for a long time, and it's just like, oh, she is business. She is a fucking hustler.
Yeah, her shit is together.
Right. And then there's other people like, yeah, some boyfriend talked me into doing this 10 years ago, and
Wow.
I'm still here.
Do you find a lot of people you have watched perform or talked to, like you feel like porn takes a soul toll on them?
I don't even think it's the porn itself. I think it's the social stigmas that come with porn.
Really? Okay. Yeah, like Chase debanking you or
Chase
your
debanking.
family.
Family drama, or it's a lonely place for a lot of people. A lot of people have problems finding partners,
Wow.
or they find partners that are like, oh, they're attracted to them because they're porn stars, so because of the object of dude's affection. And then when it's time for them to go back to work, dudes get like fucking controlling and fucking weirdly possessive and just make their life fucking miserable. So there's just a lot of toxic fucking relationships.
Wow. Right. That's kind of unfair. It's like, this was my job when you met me. Either you're going to turn me into some like mega trad wife and you're going to pay for my existence, or like you have to like be okay with this.
Exactly. Any other art form, like, could you imagine like meeting some dude? I mean, I know you're in a relationship, but meeting some dude who's like, oh, I love that you're so funny and like that you're a comic. And then like 3 months into the relationship, like, you can't go on the road anymore.
Oh, I'd be like, that's too bad. Bye.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, because a lot of performers have such lonely existences, they stick around for these fucking dudes. They get fucking love bombed. They get,
Oh, right. Yeah, I've been in so many bad relationships. So I get it. You just don't know that you can do better.
and unfortunately, society keeps hammering fucking performers with, oh, you can't do better. Your family's going to hate you.
Wow. Do you think there's a fear of leaving the industry? Like you can't find anything else, so you might as well just like stick it out?
I mean, there's definitely, depending on when they got in, there's definitely a fear of leaving the industry, especially because like you may be able to find something else, but are you going to find something else that pays as fucking well?
Wow.
And especially if you're addicted to like the validation and the fame part of it, and you haven't developed any other skill sets that are going to bring you that kind of validation or fame, are you afraid to leave that as well?
Yeah, I mean, answering phones at a bank is never going to give you the rush that like posting a hot photo of yourself will give you.
Exactly. And then the fact that you may just get fired from the fucking bank because a scene you did fucking 7 years ago.
My God. After your boss jerks off to it, of course.
Right? He's like, yeah, where'd you find this?
That's interesting what you said about they have trouble finding partners, or if they do, they try to change them and make them like get out of the game. I always thought the problem was like a lot of guys would judge a girl who does porn and not want to even just date them in the first place.
I mean, that happens a lot too. That definitely happens a lot too. But then those guys, most performers are good with. They're like, oh, cool. You understand that you're not down with this. Have a good day. It's the ones that are like, oh, I am totally down with what you do. I support you. And then turn around and like, nah, you're not going back to work.
Wow.
Or then you also get the suitcase pimps, which are
Suitcase pimps?
yeah, you've never heard that term?
No, I thought it was a band. Oh, that's sneaker pimps. Never mind.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Suitcase Pimps Marilyn Manson collab yet. But it's the dude that's like, oh, I'm totally down with what you do because you're not going to support my life while I stay at home and play Xbox.
My God, how many relationships do you think are like that?
There's a fair amount. The reason they're called Suitcase Pimps is he'll roll their suitcase to fucking set for them.
Oh man, that sucks.
And then
That guy's got this guy's got to have a huge schlong, I guess, or be really funny or clean or be a good cook. Like, what would make someone put up with that?
Well, just accepting of their job. Like,
yeah,
true. If you've gone through so many fucking people that don't accept your job or claim to accept your job and then don't, and then all of a sudden you got a guy who's like, oh yeah, babe, I'll drive you to work.
I guess if you as a performer also love playing Xbox, maybe that could be a good match.
Oh, it never works that way. It never. And
you don't have time. You're busy getting your other box played.
And a lot of times those dudes like do something to help their career. Like, oh, I manage your OnlyFans for you, or I edit stuff for you. They're really just glomming onto them and letting them support their lives.
Wow. That's frustrating. But I guess they see it as like a meal ticket.
Yeah. And like, well, I'm in a shit situation that I don't like, but at least my life's paid for.
Yeah. Look, I was told the future is female. Now let me ride off your coattails.
Yeah, I've known a couple of those dudes over the years, and it never ends well because eventually they're like, what the fuck?
They get resentful.
Yeah, like, what the fuck have you been doing for the last fucking 5 years? Nothing. Fuck.
Have you ever dated any porn stars?
A couple here and there.
What's it like?
Traumatic.
For my dick.
No,
he never recovered.
it's been interesting because it's always a weird like feeling out process because it's like I got involved with someone at one point who was like, "Oh, we're really hitting it off. Like it's good times," and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, she's just like, I only see myself dating other performers. I'm sorry."
That's weird.
Well, and I found out like 2 years later, we randomly ended up on a set together.
Oh,
She was a last minute replacement for someone else, and she like I found out from the director that morning. I'm like, "Yo, I need to talk to you real quick before she shows up. I have no drama, but we used to date. Like, so if she starts drama, I'm just giving you the heads up." And
Wow.
thankfully, she was cool. And like I ended up driving her back to the airport. And I'm just like, "Yo, what?"
You rolled her suitcase to the airport.
I did. I literally did. And I like, thankfully, in the car, I was just like, "So what the fuck happened 2 years ago? You just
Wow. All right. So she sounded like she'd grown, and or at least not enough to like disturb the job.
It's just part of the game. It's just like if you're gonna date performers, just got to understand like sometimes shit just goes sideways. You don't take it personally. I had another performer I was dating for a little while who I literally like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" She's like, "No, I'm cool. You're too negative."
What?
Yeah, I'm like, "All right, cool. Sorry you feel that way."
You bitch.
Was not emotionally invested enough.
What was that based off of? You're too negative. Just
That I'm a real person that has crises on occasion.
wow. I'm not delusional. It's not all sunshine and sunflowers.
I apparently very much upset her because I'm like, "So what's your post-performance plan? Like, do you have a plan?"
A shower. Usually I try to shake it off me. I definitely wash my hair.
Right? Get a towel.
Yeah.
I'm very much a proponent of like, you are in this industry, you need to like figure out what you're gonna do when you eventually age out. Because the amount of people that are,
How long do they last?
well, on average, the career lasts like a year.
What?
But that's due to people leaving. Like that's what throws
Okay.
off that fucking number. In the OnlyFans era, you could potentially keep performing for your own OnlyFans forever. But at this point, if you are not like making some sort of plan to even just get into production or build a business out of it, like being just the person who shows up to perform has such a limited fucking shelf life.
Wow.
And then that's all the comment was like, "So what's your plan?"
Right. For
Like,
after this.
Yeah, like, and it's not even get out of the industry.
Oh, and that made you negative?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So because she didn't want to face reality, you're too negative. Got it.
Yeah.
You're just trying to help her. You're like, "Are you going to write a book? What are you going to do?"
Yeah, like, what's your plan here? Like, do you want to learn how to use Premiere?
At what age usually do the porn stars have to be sent to the glue factory?
Well, you got to remember, if you have fake tits and you're 25, you're considered a MILF.
Oh, right. It's all about the boobs.
I mean, I definitely know some performers that were like in their late 20s still doing teen roles because they're all natural.
Okay. Interesting.
So it's definitely different in the last 10 years since I've been in. There are definitely performers working still in their 40s.
Yeah.
But
Like my friend Brandy Love, she's still crushing it. I don't know how old she is, but she looks great and loves doing it. So
yeah, you can still crush it. But those people are the exception, not the rule.
right.
Back to Lisa Ann. Lisa Ann, what got in the early to mid 90s? How many of her contemporaries were still doing it when she was still performing?
Right. Wow. Must feel good to like outlast everybody.
Yeah, it's just like you are the 1% of the 1% of performers in this fucking game. I would hedge my bets if I was a performer to be like, I'm not going to be that 1% of the 1%. If it happens, awesome.
Wow. And I think to get to that point, you have to be like kind of entrepreneurial minded. You have to like really look at it as like owning a business.
Hell, you should be looking at that day one.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's part of the problem with porn in general is there is no porno 101. They will just
Porno one?
they will just let you jump right the fuck in. And the industry, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't give a fuck if you make it 6 months. The agents, the directors, the producers, you may make some interpersonal relationships, but there's gonna be someone else who gets off the fucking bus. So they got their box covers, they got their DVDs audio or scenes or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, why do they care if you stick around?
Wow. It's ruthless.
It absolutely is.
Just like comedy.
Hell, it's worse than comedy at some points.
That's true. You can let yourself go and still be funny.
Hell, it's better for some people.
Yeah, right. You look funnier.
Like, big fat guy, you can't lose weight.
Right. No, because then it'll be like, what's her face? People got upset when Adele lost weight. People got upset when Lizzo tries to lose weight. God, what was her name? She's a blonde comic actress. I think she's Australian.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. She was in Bridesmaids and shit.
Yeah. People got very upset when she lost weight.
Yeah, like
Fatties will come after you.
it's like you were representing us.
Yeah, now there's even more reason for me to get my shit together. I don't have my fat role models.
We need more. We need more in this
We
world.
need more. And you know what? Like, yeah, I hope that the people listening, maybe just, you could become a fat role model. Just apply yourself.
Just go find those buffets.
Yeah. What do you think? What's like the best food? Like, what food should I eat before I leave LA?
Thai.
Thai.
Yeah. So LA is weird. We have amazing Asian food except for our Chinese. Our Chinese is all fucking garbage.
Okay.
And when you're coming from New York, you got good Chinese. But we got some rad Thai spots.
Ooh, okay. Maybe, what's near here?
Well, we're a couple blocks from Thai Town. So,
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to dox you.
I mean, people know I live near Netflix, so it's cool.
Yes, we're in the Netflix building.
Motherfuckers blocked my view from my roof. Second Towers. I was like, I used to have a nice clear view. And
That's annoying. I used to live in White Plains in New York, and we had this great view. And then they built like an old folks home. And I was like, wow, these fucking old people, these damn boomers, they need somewhere to die.
right. And spread chlamydia.
Right. Rampant. Yeah.
It's crazy. People are like, oh, that old generation. Like, nah, they're just passing STDs to each other all the fucking time.
And where did that original case of chlamydia come from? Probably like an aid or something.
Or either that or that some old motherfucker just never got treated because it's asymptomatic in dudes up to like 50% of the time.
Wow.
So he's like, I've had this for 40 years. I don't know why I didn't have kids.
God, man. Oh my God. Having chlamydia for 40 years.
Well, how often do the olds actually go get tested?
The olds don't get tested. They don't get tested. They don't go to therapy. They don't modulate the volume on the TV.
Hell, I remember going through the Atlanta airport, like there was some statistic about like older people, like the boomers having like the highest case of like Hep C. It's like, God damn, Atlanta, you're not even fucking around. Don't fuck the olds.
I mean, still, the boomers are like a net positive. I feel like they had it pretty easy. Like one parent could work and they could still buy a house. Most of them kept their jobs, their whole working career, had like one job.
They're like, union, yes.
Yeah. Had pensions, could retire.
Have a couple mistresses.
Yeah.
Stay married.
They're living large.
Right? Not for us.
No, I'm resentful of the boomers.
Like, hell, my boomer grandparents were just like, oh, and we're not even leaving the grandkids any fucking money. It all goes to your parents. They can figure it out for you. Like, cool. Appreciate that.
See, I don't expect to be left any money because I don't think it's their job to like pay for my existence post turning 18. Like if you do, that's a nice bonus, but I think it's a little, I don't know. I think to expect that is kind of icky.
Oh, I was expecting not to get because I'm the black sheep, but it's still just like we have some money. Yeah, just not for you guys.
Wow. Damn. You're like, I should have visited them more.
Oh, they didn't give it to the grandkids they liked either.
Really? Who'd they give it to?
Just my mother and like her brothers.
Okay.
Like, their kids. They're just like, your parents will disseminate it to you if they feel like it.
Okay. I guess that's fair.
Yeah, it was just like, I wasn't expecting a fucking dime. Like any money I got from them in my whole fucking life was very conditional, and I ended up not taking it.
Yeah.
Like at one point, it was just like, oh, we'll pay for you to go to college. Oh, we'll pay for you to go to trade school, actually.
Oh, you didn't want to go to trade school?
Not at that point. It was like the point where they made that offer, I was making upper middle class money on my own.
Okay.
And it's like, for me to go back to trade school or some shit like that, how am I going to pay for my condo?
Right.
Like, because there was no offer of like helping to pay for the condo. It was just like, oh, we'll pay for the trade school. Like, if I really want to fucking go to trade school, I'll just pay for it my fucking self.
Right. It's like, why don't you just give me the whatever cash amount the trade school would be, and I'll use it to help me in other ways.
Right. But that's just not how they worked.
Yeah.
Like that, and that's the weird thing about that generation too. Is it's like, oh no, it's all you got to do what we say. It's got to be under our control. It's got to be on our fucking terms.
The fucking boomers, man. If I were to learn a trade, I think I would get into HVAC. I feel like HVAC people always have jobs.
That's the family business, actually.
Oh.
That is the family business.
You didn't want to be an HVACer?
Four generations of HVAC people.
Wow.
Like my great grandfather sold fucking like heating oil off a fucking cart.
Cool. What is the best part of it? The heating, the ventilation, the air conditioning, the cooling? I imagine that's what it stands for.
It is. Got it.
I think because Anthony Cumia used to work in HVAC. I think that's the only reason why I know.
And he left that for comedy.
Yeah, to be a radio legend.
Right? See? Better choices.
Yeah. I hope the trades have a moment. I hope the trades come back and like become trendy. Like, I don't know, maybe someone should start like a TikTok account for like plumbing, you know?
Oh, that'd be horrible.
Like it's like we need some sexy plumbers. We need some sexy HVAC people.
I know some plumbers and I hear their horror stories. I'm like, you're a better man than me.
Really? Of like what they pull out of the pipes
Yeah,
and
all
stuff?
that shit.
What's like the worst thing?
Just bloody tampons, fucking diapers. Like people just flush horrible shit.
A baby.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yuck. I would hate to do that. I would be bad at that.
Yeah, no, hard pass. Like plumbers, exterminators, like those people have my fucking undying. I'm sure being an HVAC person could be gross if you're in some fucking attic that's never been fucking cleaned and there's vents that are just gross.
Full of birds or something.
Yeah, but that's nothing compared to like, oh, you have a fucking infestation that I got to deal with.
I could never. I saw like a video, I think it was on TikTok, or it was something about like, oh, you know, it's about this whole like people love to talk about, oh, the diversity of jobs, and you know, everything's got to be like equal amounts diverse, represented with every group. But then there's a video of this guy in basically a sewer. I don't know what he was doing down there, but he was covered in roaches. And it was just like, ladies, would you want this job? Like, how about equality? And I was like, I could never do thing. Like, unless I was in a full body wetsuit, I could not deal with insects.
Yeah. Even in a full body wetsuit, like, no thanks. There's just some things I can deal with, some things I can't. Like, I did armed security for over a decade. Like, I literally have dealt with like pools of friends' blood after they've been shot.
Whoa.
That, fine. Get me in a pile of insects. Hard pass.
Can't with the insects. I pick a rodent like running across my foot, which has happened in New York City. I'd rather do that. I can't handle a flying insect, like a flying roach. That's the scariest thing for me. My biggest fear, I think, is that a roach will fly into my hair and I won't be able to find it.
Oh. Yeah. Hard pass on all that. Like, blood, guts, I can deal with. Like, just insects, vermin, no, I'm cool.
Can't do it. Won't do it.
Fecal matter, nah. I don't want to be a plumber either. Nope.
What would you do? Fecal matter or insects?
I don't. Oh, that's a horrible choice. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah. Because
it's just like, it's not like you're getting like, oh, freshly out of the tap human waste. This has been through a toilet.
Well, it's like, yeah, you don't get to choose your degree of fecal matter. You don't get to choose like your degree of insects.
Yeah, but at least I get the satisfaction of like spraying insects and making them dead.
Right. I mean, that's the thing, is the fecal matter is not going to jump up and fly into your face, though.
You hope.
Unless there's insects hidden in the fecal matter. I'm like, what a cruel trick.
Or you just, unwrench a pipe wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's so funny. I have the same My Free Cams bag. I've gone to like a bunch of like AVN, Exotica. They always give you those bags.
Yeah, all the swag bags.
Yeah.
I give them away to people all the time. It's just like, oh, do you want a vibrator? I just have extra lying around.
Isn't that fun? Isn't that like you've reached truly adulthood when you're like, I have sex toys, but I'm not using them. I have a couple that people have given me over the years that just like sitting in a drawer, like in a box still. There
was one point where my roommate at the time actually voted on the AVNs, so we'd have all the screeners that he'd have to view every year.
Wow.
And it's like a fireable offense from AVN to sell the screeners.
Right.
But we can give them away. So for a while there, I was just giving guests like boxes of porn. Like, here, please take this. Please take this out of my fucking apartment.
Wow. And they're like, well, geez, thanks. That's exciting.
And people were happy with it.
Giving them family for Christmas, just wrapping them up.
They're like, how do I actually play physical media these days? Fuck.
Yeah.
Where do I even...
Where do I even play Fists of Fury 7?
Speaking of porn and your porn connection, I heard you open for Stormy at one point, though.
Yes, at the White Plains Comedy Club. Stormy Daniels, she's an absolute delight. She's a sweetheart. And she was funny. She, she had some funny jokes about Trump, even though it might have been like 2016, I think. Might have been like right when he was running, or just when he was elected. She started to tour a little bit more. And then I bumped into her again, I think at I think it was Exotica in maybe Chicago or something. And same thing, like just it's like such a sweetheart.
Stormy's the best, and also one of the most efficient directors I've ever worked for.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What makes someone an efficient director?
actually having your shit together and like having your crew organized and shit like that. I have been on sets where it's just like, why are we here for 16 hours today? And then being on a stormy set was like, oh, no, this was all like
Good.
on schedule, fucking.
No wasted time.
No wasted time, no fucking around. Just like, if she didn't get her shot, like back to 1, let's go.
Cool. Good for her.
Yeah, no, Stormy's absolutely great. Like, unfortunately, I never got to see her actually perform. Like,
Is she retired now?
She's still directing
Okay.
and fighting trolls on Twitter all the fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah, she gets a lot of haters.
What did you think about her potential run for, like, I think it was a seat in government in Louisiana?
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometime, I think post-2020, she was running for a Republican seat in Louisiana.
Oh, wow. Good for her. Why not? You got to give it a try.
Well, I'm just curious, like, how the right would accept something like that. It's like, oh, hey.
Probably not, because I think Trump folks probably don't like her.
Well, I can imagine.
Yeah.
You can't sue the Messiah.
Yeah, that's our dude.
Well, it's just an interesting like situation because it's like Dennis Hoff, who owned a bunch of brothels in Nevada, ran on the Republican ticket.
Mm.
But it's like, oh, the actual sex worker runs. Maybe not go so well.
Maybe because she's smart and she knows people want to keep the money that they make.
Could be. It was just an interesting situation. Just kind of like the hypocrisy of like, the brothel owner can run. He can win. He won after he died.
Wow.
Did you not hear about that one?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Hoff won after he died. But I mean, part of that was because it was a very red state congressional district, and they get to the party just get to give the seat away if they won. So it's just like, well, yeah, we'll vote for the dead guy. We get the seat.
Wow. I wonder if it's like similar, like how Biden won, because the dead people were mostly voting for him. So I wonder if that gave him the advantage.
It's at this point, it's just like,
because the dead people probably would feel most represented by a fellow dead candidate.
I don't know why.
And they're probably like, you know what, Biden, he's close enough.
I don't know why the Democratic Party just is like, hey, this is your choice. Enjoy. Like it's one of those things where like, it's just been like tone deaf fucking candidates for years now, and it's just like, take it or leave it.
Do you think that's affecting the Democratic Party? Do you think like longtime Democrats are actually leaving, like switching parties, or maybe becoming independent, or just not voting Democrat anymore?
I think they're voting Democrat because of fear of the right. In a lot of cases, it's not just like, but it's just like Hillary lost in 2016 because she ran the most tone deaf campaign imaginable.
Could not be less likable.
Well, and it's not even being less likable. She acted like it was just her turn.
Yes, she was very arrogant.
Yeah, it's just like, this is foregone conclusion. Like, why are we even holding this election?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to just shit all over Bernie and his whole base. This is a foregone conclusion. And a lot of those people were just like, well, we're just not voting then. Because you're acting like it's a foregone conclusion, I'm going to be lazy and not go to the polls. You're going to win, right?
Right.
Why do I need to bother?
Right. You have hot sauce in your purse. This is on lock. Mm-hmm.
We're going to vote for you because you're a lady. It's just like, hey, Debbie Wasserman Schultz just completely fucked Bernie in the primaries. We're going to take her into the campaign less than 48 hours later. It's cool.
They fucked Bernie.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like, he seems just cool with it. I guess they paid him off.
I don't even know what his plan is at this point. It's just like, well, cool, man. I thought you were the hope here.
No, I think he's just going to like retire and, I don't know, maybe end up in another meme like that. The meme of him in the coat, like that made the rounds for a while.
Oh, definitely. Instead of photoshopping Bernie into someone else, I photoshopped myself into a picture next to him.
Oh.
In a bathrobe. I'm just like, yeah.
Keep it casual.
It's just one of those things like, a lot of times the Republican Party is marching out people that are pretty unlikable. But the Democrats are just like, this is your other fucking option. Enjoy. Take it. It's just like, can we just get someone who actually I'd like to vote for it? Because I don't want to vote for anybody.
I've heard they're going to run Michelle Obama.
That's going to go over like a fucking lead balloon.
Really?
Well, yeah, Michelle's popular, but unfortunately, back to the racism thing, there's still a lot of racist motherfuckers in this fucking country. And
well, then explain how Obama won.
What? Let's see. Obama was running against, in 08, I mean, you got to remember they also came for him on fucking everything the whole goddamn time. But he ran against like what was Mitt Romney one of the times. Jesus, it's been.
I mean, I think if enough people will vote to elect one black president, I think that it's possible that they would do it again.
I mean, it's definitely possible. I fucking hope so. If someone's fucking qualified and they're going to do a good job.
Yeah, and plus Michelle's trans, so that's like a added benefit.
Hey, whatever gets the asses in the seats, right?
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
It's just like, just run somebody that's remotely likable who's going to just do the job semi-competently. Like,
that's asking too much.
It really just is, because it's one of those things where, like, I'm not a big fan of Trump, but it was also, I wanted to like him. It's like, oh, this dude fucks porn stars. He wants to make a space force. Like, I want to like you.
He didn't start any new wars. He did so much for the black community. Yeah.
I wanted to like him. And it's just like, a lot of it just ended up being unlikable. And a lot of it was just because I expect my politicians to be corrupt. I just don't expect them to be caught doing it all the time.
It's hard to be as corrupt as like Hunter and Joe Biden, though. I mean, that's a high bar. They're setting the bar really high with him.
I know, but it's like, I don't like that either. It's not like, oh my God, I like, it's like, be corrupt, just be quiet about it. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
Don't get caught.
Like in the good old days.
Like, be competent enough to not get caught.
Just remember to pick up your laptop from the mechanic, from the dude.
Or just please, just stop taking selfies while you do drugs.
Why do there have to be so many selfies? I don't know.
He is just he's just like obsessed with like doing drugs on camera.
Yeah, he's not well.
But it's just like, come on.
It's got to be like a cry for help. It's got to be like, someone please help me, like get me out of this life, like get me out of this like routine, these bad habits.
Well, just really do a lot of drugs then, and
but like, you are the president's son, like you have unlimited money, resources. It's just like, if you can't get your life together, my gosh, like what hope do broke people have?
None. Absolutely fucking none. Yeah, that's, none of us are gonna ever own homes unless we get lucky.
I know, it looks rough.
It's one of those things where, like, I had a condo in the mid 2000s and I got rid of it. And I'm like, in hindsight, I'm like, man, I kind of wish I had kept it.
Who has it now? Can you check on it?
Just go break in and be like, this is my place.
Yeah, I used to live here. Is my mail still coming here?
Right? Nah, I'm good with not living in suburban Chicago. It's okay.
Oh, that's where you're from, right?
Yeah. It's just plus, I think O'Hare is literally on like the back door of my fucking old place now. So nothing like living in active fucking air traffic.
Yeah, that's what's nice about the hotel I'm currently in, is that I feel like a pilot. I feel like am I kicking you?
No.
Okay.
I was just checking the time since you have a hard out.
Yeah, I think I passed the hard out a while ago.
Oh.
I'm just a little bit worried that I'm late for things.
No worries.
But yeah, that's cool though. But you like LA better than Chicago?
Much.
Okay, that's good.
One of those things where, like, LA, besides the fucking weather, the opportunities here. Because I feel like Chicago is a city where fucking ambition goes to die. Even though it's a major city, it is just still super Midwestern, where it's just like, oh, the expectation is to get a job you're comfortable with, get comfortable, marry off, pump out 2.5 kids, move to the suburbs, repeat process for the next fucking 5 generations. I know a lot of talented fucking artists that just don't fucking do shit and just gave up and would just never fucking actually take the risk on themselves because I got a good job. I can't go on tour.
It's easy to stay comfortable. Yeah.
Right. And Chicago is a city about being fucking comfortable. Fuck that. LA is like, no. You're surrounded by people that are fucking, in a lot of cases, crazy about, I'm going to make it. Like, you have no talent, dude. I'm going to make it. But occasionally you meet some people that actually are talented, actually do thrive. And it's like, oh yeah, this is something that can actually happen versus those are people you just see on fucking TV.
Yeah. New York's like that too. It's not, I think eventually the two cities will kind of bounce back to where they were pre-pandemic, but it's like they've both been kind of like demoralized, it seems.
Oh, it definitely isn't the same vibe. Like, I miss pre-pandemic LA. I miss just the energy of the city. I just miss doing stuff, and it's not there anymore. It's just like, oh, hey, I could have gone to Cantor's at fucking 4 o'clock in the morning and seen weird people and eating a diner. Like, I can still go there at 4 a.m. I gotta get my food to go.
No one's there. Yeah.
no
I
one's
was there the other day.
Yeah, it's just not the fucking same. Like,
The soup was good though.
oh, still a good meal.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but it's just, I'm hoping it's good there. I haven't been to New York since post-pandemic, so I need to make it out there at some point again and just see it and weep for the city a little bit.
It's like, it's trying, I guess. I don't know. I think they should sell, like, you know how they sell like a Sex in the City like tour? They should sell like a migrant experience tour bus, like I don't know, you get off at Port Authority in the middle of the night and like they just sort of take you through the process. I think that would be cool.
Shouldn't they just start you at the Statue of Liberty then?
Oh God.
Do it old school?
Yeah, they start you actually at El Paso and then you get bussed up to New York. This is a great idea.
Just all the way you get to see like the parts of America nobody wants to live in.
Aw. Like New York City now is that place.
Oh, I would happily take New York over Davenport, Iowa.
I've never been.
Yeah, there's a lot of the Midwest that they're called flyover states for a fucking reason.
Because there's no creative people. Everyone there sucks.
Well, I'm not saying they suck. They just are living lives I don't want to live.
Yeah, and they probably would feel the same about us.
Oh, they do. They tell me in the comment section all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking, it's wild. I'm sure your comment section is much worse than mine.
I just get used to it. I actually like can't even take a compliment anymore because I'm like just not used to positive affirmations of any kind.
Like, are you being nice to me?
Yeah, I'm like, is this wrong? Did you mean to leave this on this thread?
Are you being sarcastic right now?
Yeah. What do you mean you think I'm funny?
Where's the punchline here?
Why are you looking? What?
What's happening? But I know you are way past the time, so I'm going to keep you here.
This was a good chat.
No, it was a blast. It was
great
absolutely blast.
to come. It flew by.
It did. Chrissy, since we're calling last call, where can they find you on the things?
Let's go. Yeah, Instagram, Chrissie Mayr Pod. My YouTube is Chrissie Mayr. Twitter is Chrissie Mayr. My next gig coming up, I guess, will be September 23rd in Mayapack. Then I'll be in Minnesota October 21st. Back in Long Island, October 27th, 28th. Then I will be in Tampa December 3rd and back to San Diego January 5th and 6th. So for tickets, go to chrissiemayr.com. That's Mayr. And you can watch Wet Spot Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Compound Media. You can catch my all-female panel show of based gals called Simfcast every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern on my YouTube channel and all the other platforms. And I do one-on-one interviews too. So yeah, just Google me, I guess. And if what you find doesn't scare you off, then check it out.
Awesome. Chrissy, thank you again. I may roll out to one of the shows on Friday or Saturday.
Yes, let me know. I'll put you on the VIP list.
Ooh.
Ooh.
But until next week, drink up, motherfuckers.
Drink up.